All right. What's going on, everybody? What's going on, Gerard?
Not much, Justin. Not much.
See, you do that at the beginning of every one. I don't know what that is, but yeah. So, guys, we're talking about stuff today. Stay tuned to find out what. But anyway, we were just talking about stuff before the show, and we're just gonna kind of roll. We're gonna talk a little bit about why art is so expensive. We're gonna talk a little bit about the Patreon stuff that's going on. We're gonna talk a little bit about, I don't know, something else, but things that have to do with money. I want to start with this. First of all, let's get this out of the way at the beginning. If you're not already following us on social media, please do that. And also, if you're watching this in video form, like, comment, subscribe, bell notification thing, whatever. If you're an audio form kind of person, then we appreciate downloads and likes and reviews and that kind of thing.
We appreciate it all.
Yes. Yes, we do. And we were talking about this earlier. Once we start actually racking up some more listeners here, we probably will open up listener support eventually and go to some sort of listener support type of site, or we could just do that directly through Anchor. But we really do appreciate you guys supporting us, so keep supporting us and keep engaging and keep doing stuff like that. But looks like we might not be going to Patreon, because Patreon's having all sorts of issues that we're trying to look up like as we go right here. And Gerard actually just found most of the substance of that.
I did, yeah.
On Jordan Peterson and Dave Rubin and Sam Harris and
apparently another big podcast on there is heading out. Hold on, I just have the article. 1 second.
Yeah. Okay. So, but while he's doing that, if you have any ideas as to where else we go, I know Subscribe Stars out there, but they're just getting like brutally attacked for being normal.
Yeah. Apparently, there's a podcast called Sword and Scale, but I guess it's the 5th largest content creator on Patreon.
Wow.
And they're also leaving in support of this.
So why are all these people leaving Patreon? What's the scoop here?
Well, the scoop appears, just from me scratching the surface, it appears that Patreon has been censoring particular political commentators, it seems to me.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's part of it. I was reading that Patreon changed their like fees and things of that nature too, and that was getting supporters to also stop using the platform. Mm-hmm. And then from the censorship side, that's getting
like the fees for being on there.
Yeah, like obviously Patreon takes some sort of fee out of all the supporters' money that's pledged to their person. Whatever. And I was reading like forums on it, and everybody seems to disagree about what the numbers were, and I don't know why that's so unclear and why there isn't somewhere that you could just go on Patreon's website. I mean, there probably is, and there's probably people just not doing their research, but people are all over the place. Like, no, they take out this percent plus 35 cents, or they take out this percent plus 15 cents or something this, so that they make money. But in the end, they just upped it recently. Because I guess what it used to be basically is that Patreon would take, I think, like a 5% fee out of everything that was pledged through Patreon. And now they just upped some other type of thing because they have processing fees that they have to pay. And they basically restructured their fee system so that now the pledgers are covering their processing fees instead of them covering their processing fees. Which, I mean, I guess is the way it technically always worked in the first place, because all of Patreon's money came from their pledgers. But basically, I think what it's doing is that it's siphoning more cash out of, like, the middle. Like, if I wanted to support Home Free on Patreon, and I was sending them, I don't know, $10 a month or whatever, Patreon's just kind of eating up all that money before it even gets into Home Free's account. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Patreon's got all types of stuff going on, but going from back to the censorship thing, that's been more prominent, I think. It's been prominent in a lot more than Patreon. It's been prominent in YouTube, too, which, hey, hi.
Yes.
We're on YouTube right now.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, so that's a thing. I guess we got to watch what we say on here, because they censor stuff. They don't censor like inappropriate stuff so much, or like, you know, like language stuff like that. They're just
Yeah.
censoring views and beliefs and opinions and suppressing things like that.
Yeah, which is interesting
And
because I would think like with like say language and things like that, a lot of kids watch YouTube. You'd think
right,
that they'd censor that a little bit more. I don't know.
right, and
I would think that.
yeah, to me it does seem like they also target specific people. Like it just does, because I still find a lot of YouTube videos with a lot of foul language, a lot of views from both sides of everything, all sides of everything. And it does
Yeah,
just seem
right.
like once someone gets too popular for having the opinion that they do, that's when YouTube's like, we need to take this guy down now. And they have every right to do that. It's just dumb.
Yeah, you're on it for free. Yeah, I guess so.
Like, yeah, because they can, like, YouTube has the right to just say, you know, we don't like you, so we don't have to let you be on our platform. But, so I know this is going to turn into like a free speech debate at some point if nobody nips it in the bud, but that's not how free speech works. And if YouTube wants to say we banned your account because you said the word baseball, like any word, you said the word mustard, and we don't like the word mustard, so we're gonna take you down. Like they can do that. Yeah, and they can do that because they're private, and the First Amendment doesn't protect you from private corporations. It only protects you from the government. So as long as nobody's getting arrested for what they're saying on YouTube, then there's nothing unconstitutional.
It's A-okay.
It's just dumb, and
it's not A-okay. It's okay.
I think it's a awful business decision. I don't know if I'd say business decision. It's just like a decision, but it's awful for a business to be trying to operate kind of like that, because you're just cutting people out. And
yeah, I agree.
When you're YouTube, you're pretty much all ad revenue anyway, and ad revenue comes from having a lot of people going to your site and watching other people's videos, etc., etc. So you don't want to be. It's one thing to lose the personality that's behind the camera on the YouTube channel, but to lose all of their viewing and all their followers and have them all moving over to Twitch or all moving over to IGTV or whatever
I don't know.
Moving over to, then that's not good for your company. But I mean, we'll see what happens. The same thing's happening with Patreon. So it's like all these tools in the toolbox for some people are getting out of hand. Do you think this is going to affect mostly just like political personalities or podcasters and things like that, in opposition to bands and musical artists and artsy artists and stuff like that?
Do I think it's just going to be
Yeah.
political people who are censored?
Not necessarily censored, but do you think they're the ones that are actually going to care enough to leave YouTube and leave Patreon and that kind of thing? Because I haven't noticed too many bands or musicians leaving Patreon yet.
No, I don't. Yeah, but I don't think so. Because, well, okay. I guess it depends on, because the censorship in the first place was for expressing certain views or opinions. I guess it depends on if the band is expressing the views or opinions that they don't like.
Right.
But
it's not like some of these. It's not like Jordan Peterson and Dave Rubin are getting, at least not yet. They're not getting kicked off of Patreon or anything. They're just leaving.
No, it was another one, and they're like, well, this isn't right. We're gonna protest it. Yeah, you're right.
Right, and I mean, I watch Jordan Peterson stuff, but I guess I know where he stands politically, but like he doesn't seem to really just like nosedive into politics. You know what I mean? He
tries to keep himself out.
Yeah, and he thinks of he just thinks of everything very logically, very like algorithmically almost, like. Yeah,
he's a clinical psychologist or something.
Yeah, he's a clinical psychologist, so there's that. But I'm saying he uses his brain basically, and says, like I said, just very logically, and it's like there's an algorithm in his head, and he says, this is this way because X, Y, and Z, you know, not because I feel like it should be, because
that's
it
definitely
makes me depressed to think that things work this way. He's just like, this is how it works.
Yeah, no, he always tries to find, you know, reasonable answers for the way he believes in certain things, which I always appreciate.
Right. So I don't think he's really a political guy, but he's leaving Patreon because Patreon's censoring people, and he's like, no, that shouldn't be a thing.
You're right, yeah, and that is the only time he seems to jump into the political field, is when it's something ethical that he doesn't believe in.
Yeah, that's not jumping into the political field. That's
but like, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's more philosophical, because I'm sure someone like him, I feel like
because
he would do it. Well, I don't know, because I do know that a lot of people would just have the opposite opinion if they were on the opposite side. If they, you know, if the right starts getting censored on these types of platforms, and all the big name left people on these platforms are going to be like, oh, I don't see a problem, and vice versa. But I don't know. I feel like Jordan Peterson, if anyone, might be the guy that, no matter which side is really taking the short end of the stick, he would still be like, this isn't ethical. I don't support this.
You're right. He's very fair and honest, it seems.
So on and so forth. So
for the most part.
But that's if you've been watching or paying attention to the news, like, at all in the past couple of weeks, and notice that all this stuff is going on with Patreon, then that's the scoop. They're censoring people, and there's also stuff to do with their money, so they just decided to make a bunch of bad decisions at the same time. That's all. What could possibly go wrong? So, Gerard, it is officially 2019 now. This is our first episode of 2019.
It is.
It's like I haven't seen it since last year. I'm so funny. Yo, what if Dave was still doing that thing? Do you remember that?
Year? I remember that. Yeah.
That was 2015.
Yeah, he did a post like every day.
Yeah, that was the first day of 2016, or the second day of 2016. I think he started that. He said, "I feel like 2015 was just 2 days." He went for a while. He went for, I think, almost 2 years. But now it would be 3 years. That was 3 years ago we started doing that.
Because I remember him at the graduation speech. I remember him talking about it.
Oh, yeah.
And like weaving it into a speech.
Didn't you do the math about how long ago we started kindergarten at our graduation speech? And you say it feels like I just started like 11,000.
Oh yeah.
I think that's
he did.
I don't remember.
Yeah, there was something like that.
Here. We should really have him on here.
I like Dave. He's entertaining.
Yeah, he is. I should have thought of that sooner, because he's also home for break right now, presumably, and he lives like right down the road. I could have just been like, "Yo, Dave,
yeah,
get over here." But maybe we'll do that at some point, or maybe we'll just Skype him while he's down in Florida, while he's down by you, and that kind of thing. But yeah, that'd be really cool if he was still doing that. Be up to at least day 1095.
Yeah,
I don't know why he never figured out how to, like, we're gonna talk about Dave now. Why he never, like, set up a bot to just do that. I think he could have. Especially
he
him.
Could have. He's a pretty smart guy. No,
yeah, he's very tech savvy too. He built. I don't know if you've talked to him like much since we've graduated, but
I saw that he built a gaming PC recently.
Yeah, he did. He built his own computer over the summer. No, it was a gaming PC, I guess, and
I mean, I'm sure it's great for everything else computery too, but
yeah, football. Yeah, because usually gaming PCs are kind of like the top level of that.
Bulky.
That hierarchy. It's like they can do everything. It's like the square of all computers.
Yeah.
Meaning a square like also classifies as a rhombus and as a rectangle and as everything else.
Yeah. Not the most versatile.
That's kind of how gaming PCs work. They also classify as every other type of PC.
Yeah.
At the same time, but yeah. So it is 2019 though. Have you ruined any of your New Year's resolutions yet?
No, I don't think so. Not for the most part.
Have you been thinking more for yourself over the past 2 days?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, because I'm with my family more often because I'm on break,
They're
and
a
so I
lot
don't.
easier to disagree with.
So I don't. Huh?
They're a lot easier to disagree with.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess. But I haven't spent my time listening to as many things online, like as many videos online.
Oh yeah.
So those haven't been able to seep into my brain lately.
Right.
So I guess really, well, yeah, I guess really it's been mostly the opinions of myself and the opinions
Right.
of, like my family and stuff like that.
You
And I'm
think?
not saying listening to the videos is bad to begin with. It's absolutely a
Okay.
fantastic way to learn.
Yeah,
You
that
just
was
got
my
to
next
be
question.
conscious.
I'm gonna say, is that a bad thing? Or is it like, do you think people are better off hearing all sides of everything and taking in all the information and then trying to like pick it apart and form their own opinion that way? Or do you think they're better off when they just don't hear anything and just formulate their own opinion from the ground up? What do you think is more of a genuine opinion?
I personally always err on the side of information, 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 then I sort it all out.
Right.
But not everyone's brain works that way. I
Okay.
understand that. So I don't think like if there's something that needs an opinion to be formed around it,
Right.
and there are 25 different angles that could be taken on a certain idea or something like that.
Right.
Some people just can't, like handle all those different
Right.
ideas and opinions. So I think some people don't have a choice but to kind of like pull something out of their rear and then like kind of, or maybe, well, you know what, maybe that's what we do to begin with. Maybe some people like just pull something out of their rear
Well,
to begin
yeah,
with,
there's
and then
those
as time goes along they like acquire more and mold it, and then
There's
acquire more and
those
mold
views.
the opinion some more.
Those views have to come from somewhere. I think it's more genuine to not take in any information and just make your own opinion. I think that's more genuine. I think
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think it's a better opinion if you have well, information overload isn't necessarily good either, but I think it's a better opinion if you look at every side and then kind of try to pick which one you agree with.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more authentic.
It's a real opinion if you just
you just don't
pull it out of nowhere.
Then it's really you have to think for yourself and do it. But like something, especially something like extremely controversial, like if you get into like a gun control debate, it's more authentic, I guess, if you just pull something out of your rear and don't know anything about anything. But at least if you ask, if you're going to get into a gun control debate, you should know something about how guns work and what the gun laws already are, and the like actual relevant statistics, which there aren't many of. I don't know if I ever talked about that on here.
Not
but,
that I recall.
I did an episode of JRP Daily where I just talked about how I think statistics. I think statistics 9 times out of 10 are pure bullshit, which is, if you see what I did there. But
That's
yeah,
awesome.
but they really are, I think, a lot of the times, because people love to just cling on to these numbers that show that their side is right. They're like, oh, the statistics show, but it's like you can make statistics tell you literally anything.
Yeah,
it
you
is
could.
so easy to skew statistics.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're always going to be right. I mean, that's the good thing about statistics and numbers, is that they're always going to be right, but you could chop them up and piece them back together however you want and make them look good, make them look bad. And you could be like a statistical illusionist. I think it'd be a whole, like, you could have a show in Vegas just chopping up statistics and making the exact same studies look like they're arguing for polar opposite ends of the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
It's awful. So I really do hate when people really just like cling on to these numbers, because I think the ironically confusing thing with a statistic is that it has to be broader in order to be more accurate, which doesn't make a lot of sense. You'd think like being really specific would be more accurate, but I hate when statistics sometimes they just get stupid specific in an attempt to make this story sound better.
Yeah, I guess.
And a good example of that I always use is in sports. with all these records being broken all the time, especially in baseball, basketball, all the sports that have been around for millions of years, like professionally been around forever, where they've actually been keeping stats, and still there's some new like pitcher record every year or quarterback record every year. And it's like the sport has been around for like 100, maybe more years. How are these people really still breaking all these things? But it's because, like, I remember one time I was watching a baseball game on TV, and this pitcher broke the record. He got in the record books for being like the first. They just get stupid specific about the stat, and it's like, it's not even a stat at this point.
Yeah. Do we need to have all these different statistics about things? Like are they necessary? Are they good?
Like, but they just keep adding in stuff to differentiate them from everybody else, to make it be like, oh, he's the first one to do this. Like sometimes I'm watching a baseball game and they're like, this is the first pitcher under the age of 26 to throw a 103-mile-per-hour fastball as his 57th pitch in his 200th career game. And I'm like,
like no one cares when it's that specific.
Like broader. I shouldn't say that more specific is less accurate. It's not accuracy, it's impressiveness. It's more impressive if you're just the first pitcher to throw a 110-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, right. Like if I hit my orange like that, I'm the first guy in East Lemon, Pennsylvania, age 21, to hit a soft fake orange off of this pedestal. Like I'm the first guy who did that. Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
Like there's no like, you can do that about anything. It gets to a point where it's totally like just not interesting anymore.
Yeah, and I mean, we are exaggerating with like the orange example, but like exaggeration is to give you the point. And that's the point.
Yeah.
But like some of the stupid political shit that we have nowadays, but this amount of men, this amount of women, this amount of blacks, this amount of whites, whatever. It's like, first of all, if we're all going to be equal, then you don't do. Yeah,
if you actually care about the equality,
you don't do experiments that way.
The numbers.
It's not relevant if you do it that way, but it just gets all messed up, and it goes geographically, because whether or not you want to believe it, different geographic locations in the United States have different amounts of black people, have different amounts of white people.
Yeah, and that goes for the entire world.
Yeah. Like
people who look like each other happen to like being around each other more. I don't know. That's just kind of how it works.
Yeah, they end up in the same place because, they reproduce. You kind of have to be near each other in order to reproduce.
Funny enough, when you reproduce, the reproduction, the child kind of looks like you. Weird enough. Like,
I've never understood how that happens. But yeah, it is all messed up. Man, I don't know what the topic of this one is anymore.
Yeah, I don't know either. That's okay. We'll figure it out.
But yeah, so that it's stupid. Yo, check it out. I'm drinking some hot chocolate here out of my little Toys R Us mug. My Toys R Us mug that I got.
Vintage.
Like, dude, mug life.
Nostalgia. Yeah, mug life.
Trash talk over here. I'll try selling it on eBay. I'm really interested. I'm gonna look that up right now. But
what Justin Toys R Us mugs sell
Toys R Us mugs are on eBay yet, because a lot of people are into mugs, and I'm sure there's enough.
And a lot of people are crying out Toys R Us, so
nostalgia going around right now. So I'm gonna see if they're selling for anything.
Yeah, but, I'm really interested, actually.
Otherwise, I don't know. You talk about something. Well, there are Toys R Us mugs, but not that one.
Yeah, I always, every once in a while, I get curious, and maybe I should actually fulfill the curiosity more often. But yeah, every once in a while, I'll get curious of something in my room, and I'm like, I wonder how much that's worth. But I never actually, like I said, I never actually fulfill the curiosity of looking it up.
Right.
But, you just get, and that doesn't even mean you're going to sell it either. Just, you just get curious once in a while.
Here's a vintage I'm a Toys R Us kid coffee mug, Jeffrey Giraffe 1990 Christmas NIB cup that sold for $40.
Oh, wow.
It's the most expensive one I've found so far. Mm-hmm. Most of them are selling for like $15. But, yeah. Cool. Anyway, what were we talking about?
Yeah, really
Before I
cool.
brought that up.
We're
We're
talking about
like
statistics
politics and
for
stuff.
that.
Stats. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about your realm of field of thing of passion that you like to do.
Artisticness.
Artisticness. And you said you don't really have anything that you want to talk about with that, so I came up with something for you.
No, I mean, I could rant about my problems, but that's I don't know if anyone wants to hear that.
Right, yeah. But why is art? I mean, you have to have at least some sort of interest in this question. Everybody does.
Oh,
but
I do.
why is art so damn expensive sometimes? Why can I go to a museum right now and pay $4 million for shattered glass? Shattered glass at $1,000 per shard, as I found in this article that I think I'm still on right here. Why can I do that, Gerard? Why is art so expensive? And why is it bad art that's so expensive?
Justin, a lot of artists believe that you know, that old saying, the beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Right.
If the right people, the right what's it called? I'm trying to think of the right word here. The right influencers in society deem that something is worth a lot.
Right.
Then who's to question
Okay,
the
but
influencers?
now here we go. Influencers kind of take away the beauties in the eye of the beholder, don't it? Doesn't that put the beauty in the eye of the influencer? And then if the influencer says it's good, everybody else kind of just goes, yeah, it's good. Doesn't matter what's in my eye. Me, the beholder, it matters what's in this guy's eye because I follow him and he knows what he's talking about. Or her. You could be her.
Yeah, you make a good point.
So,
Yeah.
So
beauty's in the eye of the influencer.
Beauty's in the eye of the influencer. Okay, that's going to be our new hashtag. By the way, go on Instagram. Take a picture of literally anything. Make it something really ugly and something like really unattractive. Like right after this episode, I'm going to take a picture of my dusty computer tower and post it on Instagram and just be like hashtag beauty's in the eye of the influencer and see what happens.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sure that's
maybe I should do the same just for kicks.
But take a picture of the annoying orange. Take a selfie with the annoying orange.
Yeah.
Just blast it all over the internet. But yeah, why is it? My main question, I guess, is why is it always bad art?
It is. No, it always is.
That's super expensive.
No,
like,
and this is something that drives me up a wall. Is okay. I think we're both, even though you're not into art, I think you agree with me on this, where you can look at, say, the Sistine Chapel, which is beautifully painted. Yeah. Michelangelo like broke his back over making it. It's very like skillfully done with your fingers and everything. Your body is now contorted after you're done with it, and it's a labor. And after you're done, it's just like, wow, you have captured a beautifully idealized version of what human beings are, and you've like elevated them to this new plane like that we look up to and we're like, wow, no way, that's what human beings can be, or stuff like that. Or you understand what I'm saying. Yeah. And then you take a look at this shattered glass over here in the corner of an art museum, and you're like, wow, $1,000. Ooh, $1,000 a shard.
Yeah, I mean,
cool.
Yeah, like I'm sure the Sistine Chapel.
Sistine Chapel's okay, worth a lot. Also, it's worth a lot more. But no, but you know what I'm saying? Like there are tons of beautifully created images on the internet. You can find them very easily, done by artists that we've never heard of before, that are exquisitely done and detailed, and looks like they've taken a long time to create.
Well, like, even I would just kind of expect that, like,
as much.
Just like, I mean, I'm not that into art, and we know that. So I wouldn't. It's not that I don't appreciate the attention to detail and the things like that in art. It's just that I don't really have the eye for it, and I don't notice it. But even as just like the general person, the general consumer of art, I would just think people would go after more like cool art or like badass art, and not like like stuff that's actually freaking interesting. Like, honestly, as much as you hate getting complimented, your art is cool and it looks really good and really impressive.
No, I appreciate that compliment, and that's what I strive for. I like making cool stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, but like, people are gonna, if I have to choose between being told to work on a chair or work on a chair with like spikes coming out of it, and like flamethrowers, like I don't know, just like cool stuff.
Right.
Like have this orange as like a night orange sitting in the throne, like that's cool. That's interesting. It's
That's
creative.
more creative, yeah.
It's neat.
But
It makes you think when you're looking at a chair.
I like a person's ability to copy something, which just kind of sounds dumb and almost unethical when I say copy things. But I mean, like, I like a person's ability. You have this, and a couple other people I know actually used to have it when they were kids. I don't know what happened to them. They didn't get into art. But to just like look at something and
be able
then
to replicate it
on whatever medium, be able to draw it or digitally mock it up or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that. Who was the guy you drew?
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto. That was incredible. And I was like, Jesus Christ, draw that. I mean, that's gonna take you forever. And
it does.
I know
it takes me a long
time. But like, I don't know the process. I don't know anything about how it works and the process that goes into that. But again, I'm like, his beard looked like a beard, and his eyes.
Yeah.
Like how does that process go for you? Like, I know it takes you a really long time. Could you spend like a day just doing like one eye?
No, I'd say a few hours, like in the eye region, few hours, not like a whole day. You probably could if you wanted to. I mean, but, yeah. I don't know. I guess it's difficult for me to put it into words.
Right.
You know, when you look at an eye and you see. I'm trying to put my orange in the light for people who are listening to this in audio. But, you know, an eye can have like 5 different colors in it and still be like a blue eye.
Right.
Like it can have
that's so weird.
It can have a tint of green in different areas, and you know, we'll save our color
series
for another time. But you know what I'm saying? Like it can get very, very meticulous to make sure that the dark areas and the light areas and the different colored areas, like that they all jive and look like they do in your image or in your life reference that you're taking from.
How do you?
It just takes a long time to see it all.
Well, like you just said, in like blue eyes, you could have like 5 different colors that you have to like utilize, right? That's what you mean when you say that, like.
Yeah. Well, and I mean that for anything, like. This shirt, depending on what lighting it's in, it'll change. It looks like it changes color. Yeah.
Because that's how color works with lighting. Yeah. But again, that's for another time. But like, how do you know when you're? Well, first of all, what are those?
You don't. You figure it out. That's part of the reason why it takes so long is you don't know. You figure it out as you're looking. You take a while to determine. Okay, so these colored pencils are what I need to kind of replicate this color. And then, okay, it changes to this color, and so I need to use these pencils now. How
do you figure it out? Can you erase them? Can you like start doing it and be like, oh shit, that's not right?
No, those are really hard to erase. You would have to take you would have to take a separate piece of paper and like test it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was my next guess. But still, I feel like I would just get fucked up trying to do that. I'd be like,
yeah.
I'd be like.
Yeah, it does take a lot of trial and error.
Well, you also have like a limited amount of pencils.
Yeah,
like,
you do.
Colors are on a spectrum because they're not genders. They actually are on a spectrum, and there's an infinite amount of colors theoretically. So like you only have so many colored pencils. You only have so many colors at your disposal. Right. So like how do you know? How do you, when you're not replicating something, when you're just making something from scratch? I know you do a lot of digital art. Maybe the softwares kind of do this for you. But like, how do you keep track of where the light is coming from in like a picture, if that makes any sense? Like if you were to draw just like a freestyle version of Jared Leto, and like, does it just kind of click in your brain to remember that light is coming from a certain angle, and then you just kind of understand where the shadows go?
No, I wouldn't.
Colors change.
I wouldn't say it clicks. You do oftentimes have to plan it out. Like, I would have to like take at least a little bit of time, whether that's a couple minutes or whatever. I would have to take a little bit of time to say, do I want him in the daylight at like this time of day where the sun's
Right.
here, the sun's here, or is it nighttime? And then oftentimes, this is why a lot of artists use reference. Even if I'm drawing Jared Leto from my memory,
Right.
I can't always draw lighting from memory, so I need to look up a reference of something else in a light similar that I want to create.
Right.
So these are different kinds of references rather than just picture of orange, draw the same orange, you know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, like shadows and that. That's where it gets really messed up. And where like where I think I would just lose it. If I tried to do art, like I think if I tried hard enough I could get myself to the point where I could like draw an orange. But like when it comes to doing those shadows and stuff, like you see those crazy things on Facebook and stuff now too, of like the 3D drawings and the glitter paintings and the oh my god, it's so cool. But,
yeah, no, it's amazing. It's amazing what different like mediums that people come up with to make things.
Yeah.
Like I can like take my computer and sand it down and like all the shavings that come off of it. I'm not gonna do that, but if I did, like all the shavings that I would do would like be my medium, and then I'd like, I don't know, add water or paint and make like a glitter kind, like, you know what I'm saying? Like you can make like you can use
really
all
cool.
sorts of medium to create pictures and imagery, and
it's really cool what people come up with. I'm trying to think of an example that I've seen recently, but I can't think of any at the top of my head. I think I did send you that one. That was actually a couple months ago, the glitter one that I saw, where they were just like, I guess they were just putting some sort of like drawing with some sort of adhesive on like a huge blank.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember you sending me it.
And
was it glitter or was it like gunpowder? No, it might have been glitter. Yeah, it was glitter.
But yeah, basically what they would do is that, and I'm only able to figure this out because I used to do it for magic when I was really into magic in like 7th grade. But they must have used some sort of like adhesive-ish type of thing and like actually drew the picture with it, which I don't know how you do that because you can't see the stuff.
Yeah, yeah, that's something else in itself.
And
which I also can't do.
They would just cover the thing with glitter, like just from top to bottom, the whole thing, and then they would stand it up on its side and like hit the back of it, and all the glitter would fall off except the parts that would stick because of the adhesive.
Yeah.
It was awesome, and sometimes that's got to take so much work. Like I really appreciate that stuff, but sometimes I watch those videos too, and I'm just like, how are you paying your bills?
Yeah, you're just left in awe. Yeah, and then how do they monetize that is my question, because I just don't know how to monetize my art properly.
Yeah, I know how to monetize it. I just don't know what they do while they're getting, because it doesn't. You're not gonna monetize it like tomorrow.
Yeah,
is popular misconception, and overnight success doesn't happen overnight. But it's I'm just always, I see them in those like little studios and stuff, and I'm like, where'd you get the money to do this? Where'd you get the money to buy 300 pounds of glitter?
Oh yeah,
in a studio apartment.
Yeah,
in order to become, Facebook famous. But yeah. So think of the fucking mess that had to make too.
I'd hate
cleaning that up.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you're right. That had to take forever.
Like or that very viral glitter bomb video that's going around. Haven't you seen that yet?
You just mean when people put the glitter bombs into bathtubs?
No, that's a bath bomb. No, the guy that was doing it to porch pirates.
Oh, yeah, I saw a little bit of that.
Yeah, that
has to take a while to clean up.
Yeah, and someone was, I don't know if they were suing him, but someone filed a complaint about him because like part of that video was staged. Not the whole thing, but part of it was, and they're like suing him.
I didn't see the full video, so
if it was staged, but yeah, he was. If somehow you haven't seen this video and you're listening to this, this guy who was like a nerdy, like super engineer, saw porch pirates as being a problem. And a porch pirate, if you don't know what that is, are the people that go and steal packages off your front porch after they've been delivered to you. And it really is a serious problem. But he basically just made these glitter bombs. They were like these little robotic boxes, and he put 4 phones inside of each one for cameras, and like all these other little engineering things that I don't know how they work. But basically, the person would open up the package, and poof, glitter would go everywhere, and glitter all over their cars, glitter all over everything. Glitter is a mess. and like
It is.
impossible to get out of anything.
And like, we've all had those moments where someone will be like, "Yo, why is there glitter on your face?"
Yeah.
And you're like, "What? I was never even around glitter, and it's just on your face somehow."
Yeah, I had that moment like 2 days ago. I was like, what? Yeah, where does this glitter come from? But
Yeah.
I know where mine comes from. Mine comes from work because it's Christmas season. Every Christmas product is covered in freaking glitter.
Yeah.
But yeah, but that was really fun to watch too. Just glitter gets everywhere. It does. Glitter's awful. But what is glitter? Like, what's it made out of? I guess we're gonna look that up. But we need a young Jamie on this show.
Yeah. Yeah.
We need young Alex.
We'll get. Yeah. We'll get like Dave to do it or someone.
Should. That'd be kind of fun. That'll be later on in the future when we're in like an actual studio type of thing. Do we know anyone that's like going into film or anything like that? I guess not. That's a later conversation. We don't need to do that while we're recording.
Yeah, we need to assemble a team.
Yeah, we do. But hey, if you want to be on our team, get a hold of us. Maybe we'll consider you. We probably won't, but
assemble a crew.
Just in case. But
I can't. If I could talk like Vin Diesel, I would, but I can't. So
dude,
that's all you get.
If I could talk like anybody else, there are a lot of people I'd rather sound like.
Yeah, I know.
Like, honestly, Jesus. I wish I had a cool voice. But
yeah, radio voice. I know, me too.
Yeah. But that's why we have to podcast. Podcasters, those who aren't good enough for the radio. But yeah, going back to like expensive art. I know that being dead has something to do with it, but like, why? You know, like if you die, your artwork's gonna become worth a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that right. You can make a lot more money when you're dead.
Yeah, in a weird way.
Because that goes to a supply and demand thing, I'm pretty sure. Because once you're dead, there's no more supply of your art.
Yeah, okay, you're right.
So the prices go up. But then I don't know, do you even know like who makes these stupid expensive pieces half the time when people buy them?
Well, okay. No, actually I don't. I learned one or two of them in my art history class because it did get kind of modern. Let's see real quick.
I like the way you said that.
I know.
Class
do you remember when street artist Banksy did that image and it sold for a lot of money, but when the judge hit the gavel, or the auctioneer hit the gavel, sorry, not the judge, we're not in court. When the auctioneer hit the gavel, the portrait like shredded itself.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, that was on the news like months ago. Is that Banksy, who is a famous street artist who, I don't know, his art's worth a lot, I guess.
Right.
He had a picture of, I don't know if I can find it. I'm pretty sure it was like a girl or something. Anyway,
girl or something.
And I mean like a little girl. I don't mean like an attractive woman. But anyway, he had this picture in a frame and it was selling for a lot of money. And at the auction, as soon as it was sold and the auctioneer hit the gavel, in the bottom of the frame was like a shredder, and the picture like shredded itself. I don't know how Banksy did it. I don't know if it was like a sound thing that activates, because someone could go up to that picture when it's not being sold and be like, ah, or something, and it'll start to shred. I don't know how the sound thing works. I don't know if Banksy was there with a mustache and like in disguise and he clicked a button. I don't know how it happened, but yeah, they stopped it. They like stopped it halfway. So now there's just a picture with half of a picture frame with half the picture sticking out, outside shredded, inside safe.
How did they stop it?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I didn't watch the whole video.
Was he like, wait, what did I do?
Yeah.
Started like pounding the gavel.
But like his art is worth a lot, and I mean it's cool. Like I'm not gonna say it's ugly or it doesn't take a long time. It seems to take a while. But he's someone whose art is worth a lot. And
Yeah.
I can't understand how, because it's on the sides of buildings.
Oh. Well.
Like, for the most part.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know how art gets its value at all. That's kind of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Overall is like what gives it its value. If it's supply and demand, if it's beauty is in the eye of the beholder, if it's what it is. Like I said, when you die, all of a sudden your artwork becomes scarce, which is weird. But they can't get any more of it. They know that much. But then the question is kind of like, who cares? Someone out there can still make art. There's always that guy. But yeah, stuff like that. So did you find out what glitter's made out of yet?
Yeah, I did. Okay, hold on. All right. Modern glitter is created first by flat multi-layered sheets. They're produced combining plastic, coloring, of course, and reflective materials, but the reflective material can vary. It's sometimes aluminum, titanium dioxide, iron oxide, and bismuth oxychloride.
Okay.
These sheets are then cut into tiny particles of many shapes, including squares, triangles, rectangles, and hexagons. In the ancient times,
so tiny though. They're like,
yeah, I know.
how do they do that?
Ancient times, they were made from materials like stones such as malachite, galena, and mica.
Mica.
Oh, some were also made of insects. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I don't know what that means.
I want some insect glitter.
Yeah.
I guess you can make everything out of insects.
Yeah, kind of. Well, I'm sure a lot of insects like produce. There seem to be a few insects that produce like reflective materials that you need.
Yeah, insects produce pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Not like every insect produces everything you need, but like there's some sort of insect that there's an insect that fits your needs. It's kind of like there's an app for that. There's an insect for that.
Hold on, I'm looking up this really stupid piece of art that was sold for a lot of money.
I love some of the stories you can find on stuff like that too. I was listening to this on a podcast. I don't remember which one at this point. But I was listening to something about this where they were talking about art real quickly, and they said there was this story a while ago. I don't remember the story actually happening, but a guy went to an art museum, and just like as a joke, he put his
glasses
on the ground. Just like people.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I really just love those stories of mocking art. Or there's also
fancy art critics and stuff like that.
Dude, some stuff is so stupid.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It is, especially critic stuff. Go ahead.
Yeah, look up Barnett Newman.
Barnett Newman?
Yeah, his first name is Barnett, which is 2 T's at the end.
Okay.
And then his last name is Newman.
Okay.
Now go to Google Images.
Oh God. Ooh.
It's just a bunch of boxes with lines, right?
Yeah.
The one.
What is that?
It's a blue box with kind of like a dark teal looking line down the middle.
Yeah.
I guess it's sold for 48 million.
Yeah, that's fucking insane. That's stupid. I think I did see that before when it happened. Or I've seen something like that. I think I saw one that was just blue before.
Yeah, I mean
Self or something like that.
I'm sure Barnett Newman is a swell guy. Or he was a swell guy. He died in 1970.
Yeah.
But I think his art's dumb.
Just took a color and was like, I'll pour this all over the thing so you'll pay for it. Do you think that some snooty rich people just pay for that stuff because they can?
Yeah, sometimes.
A sign of status. It's like, guess who's a millionaire? Me.
Yeah, because I buy art I actually like looking at.
Yeah. So I think that too. Something I've thought about this in college before too, because in our dining hall we have like these little paintings just kind of hung around, and they're just paintings of nothing. They're just
Wait, like by nothing. What do you mean?
like if anything, it would look like this one that I can actually picture in my head a little bit right now. It would look like if you took an extremely close up picture of like a leaf, like just like a couple different shades of green.
Oh.
With like no rhyme or reason to it. And there's one that's like a couple different shades of red and a couple different shades of blue. And I'm like, why did we buy these? Why are my tuition dollars going into stuff like this?
The artist probably took like 10 minutes making that, if that.
It almost so because they're just like tiny paintings. They're like this big, and there's like 3.
Oh, 5 minutes then.
It almost looks like the artist made one giant, really cool painting, and just split it up into a million pieces and sold it.
Sold each one. That's awesome.
Sold it to like everywhere, so you can
never
track.
I should do that.
Yeah, really. It's like you want to turn your one piece into, like your one $10 piece into $1,000 real quick. Just chop it up.
Yeah.
And sell each piece for $10. Be like, this came from Gerard Mirabelli, greatest artist that ever lived. The goat of art.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I think people just kind of get snooty and they're like, I'm gonna buy some expensive art because I can.
Yeah.
Or because I'm rich and single and my wife just left me and
art.
Actually, if your wife just let you, you're probably not rich anymore, no matter what you do. But if you're just rich and single to begin with, and don't have anything else taking your money away from you, I guess you might as well just buy some blue pieces of square. That's a pretty good thing. I feel like we're getting pretty hefty on time here. Is it time to sign off?
Oh yeah, you can't see the time. Yeah, it's like 52 minutes in.
Yeah, I think we'll call it a day there. We'll come back with some colors at some point and continue the art conversation.
Yeah, because we have a few topics in the works.
But we've had some fun doing this and talking about things. Color is going to be a lot more fun. Colors, I'm going to warn all the listeners now, color is either going to be like 3 or 4 episodes, or it's just going to be one real long episode. So stay tuned for that. Another thing, I've been getting feedback here and there about
this podcast.
Yeah, about first of all, a lot of what I get is that it's too long, and it's like, first of all, it's an hour. That's pretty average for podcasts.
Yeah, I think so. At least the podcast I watch.
And that's not going to be my excuse. So I don't have an excuse because I don't need an excuse. I don't need an excuse to explain why it's an hour long. It's an hour long because we want it to be.
Yeah, we have no problem talking for the length we do.
But if you're really having that much trouble watching it for an hour straight, I get you. I split my podcast up a lot. I've been watching the same episode of the Joe Rogan Experience for the past 3 days because I'll watch it like half an hour at a time. So I just want to give you guys all a friendly reminder that you can do that. You can watch the beginning of an episode and then leave it and then come back and then keep going and then come back and then keep going. So it's like if you never watched every episode of The Office because it was all in one episode and you were like, that's too long. Just split it up, guys. It's not that hard. And then we don't have to post as often and annoy you with that.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, if you made it this far, cool.
Yeah.
Like,
cookie
comment,
for you.
subscribe, and do all that stuff. We're not actually going to give you any cookies because I don't have any cookies.
Yeah, I don't think either of us can make any cookies, actually.
Yeah, but we'll catch you in the next one, guys. That's all I've got to say. Follow us on the internet. Ah!